Hey, ASC Nation, this is Gerald Cozy. Today we have a short 15-minute or less video conversation that we'd like to record as operational leaders here at American Senior Communities. Today we have 4 operational leaders, and we'll go through and ask each to introduce themselves. So I will start with you, Neha.
Hi, ASC Nation. My name is Neha Patel. I'm the Executive Director at Allisonville Meadows, and I've been an Executive Director since 2009.
Tim.
ASC Nation, is Tim Carter from Brownsburg Meadows, Executive Director.
All right, and then Jessica.
Hello, ASC. My name is Jessica Dixon. I am the new Regional Vice President of Operations. However, I've been an operator for 8.5 years.
And then missing today is Laura Carter. She's an operations director. She's covering a building today, and she's in the middle of handling an operational issue. So those in senior healthcare, you know how that goes in our field. So she is missed, but we know that she is advancing senior healthcare in her current role. The way we came up with this particular episode, the 4 of us attended ACA's National Convention and Expo. We had an opportunity to watch Neha Patel cross the stage as she accepted her Silver Award. Interesting fact, of the 4 people on this call, 3 are Silver Award winners. And that's something that is very significant and one that we're very proud of. Last week, we had a very tough stretch of bad weather. People outside of our industry may not know that when snow days are occurring within our nation, for senior living professionals, healthcare professionals, we don't understand snow days. We only have what we call go days, go to work, advanced senior healthcare. So I want to stop in and just ask Neha, let's start with you. Last week, how did you prepare yourself and your team for the inclement weather we expected?
Well, gosh, there's a lot of planning that goes with it. You know, I read this quote. I'll start off with this. The title frontline worker is an illusion because it implies that there's a backup. There is no backup with a frontline worker. So with a snowstorm, you have to get through it. You have to prepare, you have to plan. So what we did is Nikib, very fortunate to have him here with me. He helped me run to Walmart and get food for the staff. We just had a feeling that a few of us would have to stay the night. So we wanted to make it as comfortable as possible for our staff. We have a unit that we opened up for beds for staff to stay over. We had food, we had water, we had extra blankets. Myself and quite a few department heads, we stayed overnight a couple days to ensure that we were the shuttle drivers to get our staff to work because we still had 114 residents to care for. They were relying on us. And if we weren't here, who could they rely on? So we didn't have any call-ins because we were able to pick up every single staff member. And many of them were willing to stay overnight. Fortunately, we were able to take them home as well. However, quite a few department heads did take that responsibility off of them so that we could be here on the night shift and help our residents. So yeah, the instinct came in and we just did it. We ran with it and it worked. And we're tired, but we're still here.
Well, that's an amazing story. But I beg to differ on one. You did have one call-in. And I'm certain that call-in was to your husband and your 2 daughters at home, letting them know mom is staying at the building. That's a heck of a call-in, Neha.
Yeah, you know, you're exactly right, Gerald. And to see it in that light, that's so true, because as a healthcare worker, we tend to put our family second. I hate to say it, but we have to in some circumstances like this. Thankfully, I mean, you make sure your family is safe first, but very fortunate to have a support system that allowed me to care for the residents. So awesome. Thank you for mentioning that.
Awesome. Tim, how do you balance family, your professional family with your personal family and the responsibilities that you have for both?
Well, good question, Joe. And first, let me say thank you for putting this call on, in ASC Nation, for just highlighting these leaders and also highlighting the staff that we have. This moment here and the sacrifices from all the staff and the families is huge. And that's what fills me up. I heard Neha say tired. And I mean, those days, I remember just with the snow days, it felt like it was 2 days straight of just running people around and just running errands with my 4x4 truck and trying to run home and still just trying to do a lot. But what kept filling me up was the staff and the way that they sacrificed for their families and the way they family supported them. So there's a lot of S's that came out when I was thinking about this. And it was just a sacrifice, the support. I gotta say a huge thank you. And I think we all need to those family members that sacrifice for us as caregivers and those who are called to serve. You know, we have to have people that fill us up. So for me, it was just a balance of good communication. To take care of the family, I made sure that they knew what was going on. I made sure that the home was prepared, that, you know, we was ready for whatever could have happened at the house or with our situation there. They basically stayed in and had fun and played games for 2 days. And I stayed out running around, taking care of the staff and leading this building. And here in the building, we communicated too. So my second family here in the building, we communicated early to get prepared for this. As the leader of this community, it was go time. So when I knew it was go time and I seen the freezing start to stick at 6 o'clock, I sat down for a minute. I rested up well. I knew that was going to be the last bit of rest I had. And then when the ice went down and the accumulation started, I knew it was safe for me to take my truck out and then make sure that the staff could make it to work at 6 that next morning. And then after that, it was just getting the teams in and out.
Okay. It reminds me of a quote: proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Yes, correct.
See, we assess the weather, we assess upcoming storms throughout the industry. I mean, if you look at the wildfires out west, if you look at the coastal states being plummeted by flooding and hurricanes, you know, we anticipate tough times because the responsibility expands beyond just our workspace. And that's why we often say career choice transitions over to career duty. Jessica, you're a regional vice president of operations with a great deal of experience as operational leader of a community. What was your perspective from a regional support level as we battled this storm system last week?
From a regional standpoint, just being available, Gerald, just being able to be a resource to the field was definitely just one opportunity I had during the storm. Not only being available from a phone call standpoint, but just walking leaders through planning was definitely pivotal for me as a regional support. Okay. Not only that, but just being able to view the selfless acts of kindness and love that our leaders on all levels was able to display, it just blew my mind.
Can you share one of those examples with us?
Just the bond and commitment with Rosewalk Indy's executive director in his truck picking up staff for 6 hours of the day. And then I have North Capitol leader able to get out in the kitchen and cook food. Like stories like North Capitol and Rosewalk happen throughout our organization every single day, not only during the storm, but it happens every day. And I appreciate all the leadership within ASC.
Across the nation, across the world, we are in a special career space. And so today with this episode, we want to make sure to acknowledge leaders from throughout the senior living, senior healthcare space, as well as our professionals, our staff members, the ones who come to work and join the mission alongside of us to advance and to make it through tough times and tough situations. If you had a chance, and I'll ask this of each of you, if you had a chance to acknowledge the professionals within the senior healthcare industry, if you wanted to honor them within 2 minutes or less, what would you say? Let's start with you, Neha.
Thank you. I mean, I think a thank you goes a long way. Not everyone understands what we go through in long-term care, you know, as caregivers, as industry professionals, but thank you. to fight a pandemic and then through a snowstorm and have a red zone. It's unbelievable what we do every day. And it's such a selfless act because we do it for everyone else. And I think it's important too, to mention that we also need to take the time to take care of ourselves. Self-care is important. And I think this is the time where the industry is recognizing that. Lots of changes even within our company, which is wonderful. So thank you, and take time for yourself, because we're not used to doing that, and it's time that we do.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Tim, you're next. Could you answer that question for me? Or give me, in 2 minutes or less, can you honor our professionals?
Most definitely, Joe. I agree with Neha. Just first off, just saying thank you from the bottom of my heart. As every role that I have here on this earth, I just say thank you for the example, the leadership, the modeling that leaders and those caregivers do. So every day they're making a difference, and not only the lives of the people we get the opportunity to serve, but also taking that opportunity to change the life or the trajectory of someone that watched you do that selfless act. And sometimes we don't know that people see it, but I just wanted to say thank you. Definitely let them know that they're never alone. And with anything that ever comes against one person, together we win. So as long as we together, we win. Keep being the difference.
Awesome. Awesome. Jessica, if you had 2 minutes, how would you honor our professionals across the world?
Well, words are just simply stating the fact that they are valuable. All healthcare workers are valuable. Their commitment, their sacrifice, and the love they display each and every day, not only for our residents, but for each other. So thank you.
Wow, Neha, you said something that resonated with me. You mentioned a red zone. So not only are we dealing with inclement weather that required leaders to stay at home, but we're also managing caring for people through a worldwide pandemic. So no one is ever bigger than the building, and it takes all collectively in order to advance senior healthcare. If you are listening to this message and you're in a leadership position, we ask you to share this with your professionals. We want them to know that what they do each and every day, it matters. There's nothing more honorable than placing the needs of someone else before your very own. We see that unfold each and every day. But it takes an entire community to advance healthcare. For a second, I want to recognize all of the home office professionals, within our organization first, and then throughout the country second. Because what I want you to know is, although we may be at the tip of the spear where the service and the care meets the revered elder, but let me assure you, the resources and the expertise that you provide us in support allows us to stay focused and grounded on the situation at hand, and it contributes. Your effort contributes. You too bring value, and it's important that you know that. On the selfish side, we get the benefit of seeing our residents smile and say, "Thank you, baby," and "I love you," and we get to enjoy that. And unfortunately, you may not have that opportunity. So we'll let you know that our residents do appreciate your effort. So before we end this podcast, here at ASC, we're talking about this year, we want to unite people, we want to build strong teams, and we want to soar, advance senior healthcare. So as we close this out, do you have any final comments from each of you to our audience members in regards to continuing to unite, continuing to build, and continuing to set our sights on soaring? Let's start with you, Jessica.
Well, my last words would be, without the people, there is no organization. So thank you. Simply thank you for the commitment, and thank the families that also make the sacrifice. If you're a healthcare worker, your family is also making a sacrifice. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tim?
I think the big thing is just the appreciation and gratefulness for everything around us. You know, the storm, tough times don't destroy us; they make us stronger. And I mean, with this display and this conversation is birthed. And I just think the big thing is just the appreciation and gratefulness. I'm grateful for everybody within this network and this ASC Nation, and I just think we all should just really focus on gratefulness and appreciate the things that are there. And as Jessica said, it takes the people. So I just say, just remain grateful and keep doing what we're doing.
Thank you. Neha?
Yeah, I mean, just wrapping up what they're both saying, you know, keep going. We need leaders like you. Our industry needs them more than ever before. I also wanted to mention too, Gerald, you mentioned home office and their support too. Just a quick shout out to David Storty. He came to Allisonville the next day after the snowstorm, thanked every single one of my employees for showing up to work, and through a pandemic, through a snowstorm, just to have that support in the midst of this blizzard was pretty incredible. So I wanted to mention that the support is there. It's wonderful. It's a phone call away. In this case, we didn't call. He showed up, and it was just nice to have that extra hands on deck, I should say. So
Thank you. Thank you. And for those that don't know, David Storty is our Chief Operating Officer. So let's take this time to recognize the C-suite leaders of all the organizations across our industry. You know, you're making critical decisions, you're steering the ship and moving us in a direction that we need to go. And we know for a fact within this industry, there are numerous senior leaders making the effort to reach out, to visit communities and to show their support with their presence. So team, thank you all so much. I'm so glad we had the text communication last week as we were supporting each other. It's amazing how this relationship has blossomed from attending ACA and supporting Neha as she took the stage again to receive the Silver Award. It tells you the importance of relationships, the importance of having community, the importance of having people that you can reach out to when you may have a concern or when you need a little pick-me-up. And before we end, we just want to thank Laura. We know Laura Carter wanted to be a part. She's now serving as an interim at a community, and she had a few items that need to be taken care of. So she sacrificed this opportunity so that she could lead her team well. ASC Nation, thank you for your time today. We value you, we appreciate you, and let's continue to unite. Let's continue to build teams, and let's continue to soar. Thank you.
Thank you.